my name is Pascal. Today we are going to compare German volume training and Gironda 8x8. If you want more details on these two programs, please follow the links in the description box below. Gironda 8x8 and German volume training are very similar training programs. Both of them go for a lot of repetitions in one workout session. Gironda goes with 64, so 8 sets of 8 repetitions at 40 to 60% of your 1 repetition maximum, while German volume training goes for 10 by 10 with the same kind of logic behind it, 10 sets by 10 repetitions. Both programs ask for 30 seconds of rest in between sets. So you could also think about Gironda 8x8 as a German volume training light version. So I won't do a scientific study on what is the most bang for your buck between the two of them. I will just say that for hypertrophy, both programs are excellent. If you want something more balanced, go for StrongLifts 5x5 or for starting strength as a beginner. And if you want something that is a bit more 1 repetition maximum focused, then Smolov Junior might be a cycle that you want to run. So if you don't want to know more, you can stop the video right here. But if you want a bit more detail on different types of groups of lifters and whether these programs are good for them, then just stay tuned. So are Gironda 8x8 and German volume training good programs for beginners? I personally don't think so, because to run them well, you really have to have a bit of feel for your body and the movements in the gym, and 30 seconds between sets, be it for 64 repetitions in total, 8x8, or 100 repetitions, 10 by 10, is very demanding for a beginner to get right, and then also accompany it with a diet that is actually healthy, in a caloric surplus, and therefore also helping hypertrophy heavy programming. So therefore I think beginners should turn their way either to StrongLifts 5x5, because that is easier to ease into if you want to work with a barbell and just be somewhere in the middle of the road. I also have dedicated videos on that on my channel on why I really think that is one of the best programs for beginners that you can possibly do. Or if you're more bodybuilding related, turn to bodybuilding.com and get one of these manifold of 3x10, 3x12 templates that address just different, body groups that are split routines, because they have so much information for free on there that is really good. And the main goal for a beginner really should be to establish a habit where they want to go to the gym 3 times a week and really enjoy it. So Gironda 8x8 and German volume training, if done right, are really programs for people who already have learned to embrace the suffering, and beginners would not necessarily fall into that bracket. The next group to cover would be weightlifters or Olympic weightlifters. Now I think for them Gironda 8x8 and German volume training are the least suitable, because the clean and jerk and the snatch are all about maximum strength. Successful programs are usually squat to the max, or clean and jerk to the max, like the Bulgarian method, which is very unforgiving, or other kind of programs where you do waves of 3 repetitions per set or 2 repetitions per set and then just increase the weight bit by bit. So ask your coach, because most likely if you're doing Olympic weightlifting right, you will have some form of coach available to you, whether you want to run and should run a hypertrophy program like German volume training or Gironda 8x8. The most likely advice that I would suspect would be that coach says, if you don't want to go up a weight class, then don't do it. And if you do it, only do it off season. That will be my best guess, but talk it through with your coach. But weightlifters are probably the group that get the least out of these two programs. Next group to talk about would be powerlifters. So powerlifters for German volume training and for Gironda 8x8 are definitely a bit more forthcoming to these kind of templates, and it might be beneficial to them, because if you want to pack on mass and strength, you could do a cycle of that really far away from your meet. If you look at the theories of juggernaut training systems, which I currently deem to be the gold standard on powerlifting training, some people might agree, some people might not. Otherwise, look into the logic of Louis Simmons, if you're more leaning into the West Side method. But all of these have in common that they say, yes, there is usually a place for powerlifters to have 5x10 or maybe 8x8 days or 6x8 days. They don't go as extreme as Gironda and German volume training, but far away from your meet, very early in the cycle. You usually will have some kind of hypertrophy element in a powerlifting cycle. Training cycle. So that is why I think for powerlifters, Gironda 8x8 and German volume training can be good off season or in preparation of more demanding cycles in terms of intensity in the build up to a meet. Last group to cover would be bodybuilders. So if your goal is to be on the stage, then I personally think that 10x10 and 8x8 can be very good friends of yours in the lead up to being a bigger, better, more massive version of yourself. Because if you do these two programs really well, in the sense of that you get really uncomfortable by the end of the session, then accompany it with a caloric surplus, and that will be the building block in preparation for a meet before, or a show. Most likely in bodybuilding it's a show before you go on a cut. Of course, differences in individuals always apply. Some people respond better to 5x5s, 8x8s, 10x10s. Some people just need to be constantly shocked to make their muscles grow. That is really about experimentation and working with a coach, or taking very good notes and working yourself on progress. That is up to you, but definitely looking into the 10x10 and 8x8 bracket, pushing yourselves after you mastered the basics with some kind of bodybuilding.com templates, I think is a really good road to travel. And I won't be alone with that opinion if you have a look around with other channels and other coaches. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and tell your friends about my channel. Have a very nice day, and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.